Okay. I don't even think anyone will turn up to this live because, well, I haven't done a live in years. I don't even think anyone will even see this, and that's okay. I honestly, it's fine. Um, it's been a long time since I've done any type of videos or really any kind of content, especially content involving the fandom or what I think of the fandom. Oh, hey, how's it going? Uh, so it's been a minute since I've done anything that yeah, it's been a minute since I've done anything that's remotely fandom related or interest related, and I've been doing a lot of different things. And how's everyone tonight? Uh, it's actually kind of a little overwhelming to see that even 5 people turned up to watch me still, because it's been a long time, guys. It really has, and I've been going back and forth over, do I do lives? Do I not do lives? Do I get back into making content, or what am I gonna do for content? How am I gonna do it? Why am I gonna do it? That kind of stuff. And I've been going a lot to. I'm trying to go to as many conventions as I possibly can. Um, but I haven't really been first seating. Like I still have my boy here. He's still here. Is just kind of sits off to the side right now, and it's weird to see that. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm still around. But mostly, yeah, mm. Mostly I just do photography now, and that's what I've been kind of focusing on, is learning to do photography um, at higher and higher levels, and really, like, I got really into cars there for a while. I miss your videos, honestly. I'm glad to see you turned up again. I miss doing videos. I really do. I know that every once in a while I would get on. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna get on there. I'm gonna do it. And really, like, because of how everything has been, and I got a new job, and I've been working on some more projects, and that has taken so much of my time. I could not have believed it. Even, I mean, if you told me, hey, Spyn, it's just not going to work out the way you think it is, I'd be like, no, 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 it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Um, yeah, I am alive. I am alive. Um, you know, oh, fellow photographer, that's something I wanted to turn into a career. And I think it is too. I know, right? Sorry, my cat's trying to get my attention. But really, really, guys, I've been super interested in, like, getting back into car culture and stuff like that. And for a long time, I've had very nice sports cars that people are just like, oh, that's a dream car of mine. And just like, yeah, and I've owned that, and that's awesome. And I've been so lucky to have that. But I don't know. I've don't think I've done a good service to any of you, and I am beyond, just kind of beyond thankful that that some of you guys would even show up for this. I didn't actually expect that. That's really cool. I didn't think that that would be a thing that would happen. But so what it's come down to is this. What am I going to do? Am I going to come back? Am I going to make videos for you guys again? Or am I not? And, um, the short answer is yes, kind of. I am going to try to make some videos for you guys. that really want to see it. And I don't care if it gets one view or a million. It doesn't really matter to me anymore. Um, I used to be so concerned about that, and I would stress about it. I would stress about why I need to make these numbers. That way, I can be this important person in the fandom, and I lost sight of what it was about. Um, but I think I've got a little bit more clarity now. And that can only happen through letting go of the idea that you need to make these numbers or you need to do these things because it's not that important. And I have all these other interests and I want to bring them to the table. I do. I want to bring my photography to the table. I want to utilize that in a way that enhances the fandom and enhances all of your lives as best I possibly can, and give advice that I can give. Like my experience with the type of platforms I've shot on, and like why I think they're good or bad or indifferent. The types of lenses I bought and why I think they're good or why I would never buy them again if I had the choice, or would I have just saved my money, that kind of thing. And that's something I want to kind of bring to all of you as best as I possibly can. And one of the things, as I said, I was real involved in learning photography on a higher level, and I started out shooting film, and I really enjoyed film. I shot Nikon. I can't even remember if I still have my film camera or not. It'd be a shame if I don't. But I learned it. Learned shooting on film and developing personally, like in college, and it was real fun, and I enjoyed it a lot. But I switched over to digital, and then I started making videos, and I was like, videography, that's kind of cool too. What do I do with that? And I started making videos for you guys. And the types of lenses that you use are different, kind of. But my current camera is an entry level Canon EOS Rebel T7. There's nothing wrong with entry level cameras. Like they're great. They're amazing. They do a lot. And something I've learned is a good friend of mine. He does not have near the gear I have. He has not spent the kind of money and stupid amounts of money on gear that I have. And his shots, in my opinion, are significantly better than mine. And it's kind of fun. Yeah, no, I love my camera. I've learned to do a lot with less. You should. Buying like the top end camera. I currently shoot a Sony Alpha One, which for those of you that shoot mirrorless and like mirrorless, and shoot with Sony, you know that that's their top one. Absolutely. Uh, and they're cool. They're real cool, and I love those cameras. Hold on a second. Get that back up there. For some reason, signal keeps dropping, and I don't know why. But anyway, so the cameras that I've chosen to use have always been these kind of top end cameras, and that's great. But someone with more skill with a cheaper camera will always outshine you. Yeah. It is one of the most fun things in the world. It is so amazing, and I absolutely love it. And I got into automotive photography, and that's something that I think is really cool. And I'm not very good at it, not yet. Like anything, you learn as you go, and you'll try to do things. Some things are going to be better than others. But I know, right? My cat just she is rather attention starved, it seems, today. So she just requires my attention all the time now for some reason. I don't know why. Like, we sat and watched TV together for like 3 hours. So anyway, so I like all of these different avenues, and the furry fandom has always been kind of a thing that I've really enjoyed and enjoyed being a part of. And it's something that it has its ups and downs, and there are good people in it and there are bad people in it. There are people that we tolerate in the fandom that we probably shouldn't tolerate. Um, but that aside, it pushed me to be a better photographer, because I wanted to take pictures of my partner Ink, and I also wanted to take pictures for the people. Do you think maybe it would help you to learn, if you force yourself to use a lesser camera than the one you have? Yeah, in some aspects, I think that it would probably be a better choice for me to sometimes use cameras, and sometimes like right? Why are you like this? You just have to be a part of everything. She just has to be a part of absolutely everything. Um, but yeah, no, sometimes it would be better to use other cameras, and uh, just because a camera doesn't cost as much doesn't mean that it technically, I guess, is lesser. It has a different focus. She just wants to be a part of this, so there she is. This is Rukia. If none of you have ever seen Rukia before, this is Rukia. She is a demon of some sort. Isn't that right, Rook? Yeah. Okay. But if I'm sitting, she has to be. Yeah, I know. You have to be part of everything, don't you? And but when it comes to like learning different skill sets, the best thing you can do is just go out there and do it, regardless of what gear you have. This was it the famous saying that the best camera for your purposes is the camera that you have, and you could go out and spend a bunch of money on all of this stuff, and it'll improve your photography like a little bit, maybe like maybe the lens is a little sharper, the camera has a higher like meg, or whatever, and so maybe the shots are a little clearer, maybe they're not, but learning the fundamentals is better in my opinion. And I've shot on a bunch of different cameras, but learning a new skill set like how to take pictures of fursuiters is it's kind of wild. Something that we don't really talk about as like posing someone, getting the right pictures, getting those that perfect lighting, especially if you don't have a setup, you don't have a this is taking pictures of people is so much more involved. It is. It's so much more involved. And I had focused for a little while on street photography and just kind of taking pictures, natural light, that kind of stuff, just doing what I can. And taking pictures of cars is fairly easy because cars stay perfectly still so long as they're not moving. You don't have to like keep reminding it to stay still, it stays still. Um, but when you're talking about taking pictures of fursuiters and what's involved with that, and like how do you put together a photo shoot at a convention? Like I don't think anyone has talked about how to do that the right way, and how to like assign times, and like how to really push for a professional level experience for people. And for me, like I and this is kind of it's probably dumb on my part. Let's see, would you say? The way I learned to take pictures of people is to just like sit them down and tell them to just kind of do whatever feels right to them. That works too. So one of the things that I would try to put this here. One of the things I'd like to really push for is to maybe do like a set of videos on how best to organize those kinds of things, because it's kind of important, right? And that might be something that I can do for you guys, and I can do it as Spin if you like, because most people, you're not here for this. Like, this isn't what you're here for. You're here for like that guy over there. That's who you're here for. And that's cool. Like, um, the people that really liked my stuff and the stuff I did, um, I can still do those things. They're just harder to do. They're harder to do on, um, mainly because like I currently work IT, and IT support is can be difficult to really push out there, and as something that's like, I mean, I can tell stories of funny things, but like it doesn't really do much for you guys, especially like, people that are interested in the types of things I'm interested in. I can basically just tell stories of people that did really, really dumb shit that I had to deal with. And it's funny, but like I can't get too much out of it, and it's not enough to really make a series out of. So I'm not sure what to do with that. But if that's something you guys are interested in hearing about, I could do like maybe a short little series on that, and that would be okay. Um, one of my other uh, this is one of those things that I I kind of hesitate to talk about, but um, so I'm very much into cars, right? Um, I really, really like cars, especially JDM, or Japanese domestic market vehicles. I have since I was very, very young. I've grown up in a town that regularly hosts car shows and things like that. So being exposed to different types of vehicles and having a genuine love for sports cars has been a thing for me. And it's something I've gotten more and more into. And I don't really want it to be this, like, this channel that doesn't really have a direction anymore, because I want it to be kind of focused. But something that I also am doing is that, uh, for those of you that like cars, I just recently, bought a new sports car. It's gonna take a while to get here. And I sold my previous car in order to get this car, and I'll be without a sports car for like 20 months. And I've always had a sports car, so not having one, and especially, um, you know, having a love for photography and wanting to shoot sports cars, like the idea of selling my sports car that I had a perfect subject for, that I could take it and I could get shots with it anytime I wanted, sounds insane, but I had this very limited opportunity to make this thing a reality, and I wanted to do it, so I did it. Um, and maybe I'll do something on it. I'm not gonna really go into detail on, like, kind of. Oh, you just got a job working on cars. Oh, that's tight. Do you have any favorite cars you like, or anything in particular that's like your favorite, you know, type? If that's your thing. But working on cars is pretty fucking fun. Um, anyway, yeah. So trying to kind of bring all of that stuff together is difficult because, like, I want to do the car stuff. I also want to do the photography stuff. Old muscle cars era. Okay, cool, cool. What is your favorite muscle car? Your absolute favorite muscle car? That just means that you can practice your photography and shoot some shots of your fancy new one when you're more experienced. Yeah, and that's true too. That's a fair thing. It's just the fact that I also will be bereft of a sports car for like way longer than has been a thing for me. But anyway, yeah, so I kind of just wanted to go live just to see what would happen, I think. Because it's been so long, and I actually expected that no one would show up. I really did, and I'm actually kind of pleased that people did show up. That's pretty amazing. But so anyway, I guess old Daytona Chargers. Oh, those are nice. We see a lot of those um, at car shows. Those are very nice. There, 5 people showed up at your doorstep instantly. I know, right? That's just so crazy. Like, it shows that I still have some sort of like, you know, it's some people that still really are hoping to see me come back. And that's kind of cool. Even if it's 5 people, even if it was one person, that would still be cool that even one person was interested in seeing me come back and write videos. And I've had videos written. I actually shot a video about the car that I'm getting and the insanity of selling my car and like all of this stuff. And but that's kind of for a different thing. I should also add that some of them are even uh, taking the time to type in your chat to you. They are, and that's also crazy. That people still want to talk to me and still want to see what I'm doing and are interested. It's a very very sorry. Did I move? I moved. Um, it's it's something that's very very touching, and I didn't expect to to really see any of that. But um, as far as like general sort of ideas for the channel and what I uh wanted to do with it is at one point I just thought I was like, oh well, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do, and just maybe I won't come back. I mean, maybe I'll just do photography and that's just what it is, you know, and maybe people will like that, and I can enrich their experience in the fandom by capturing these fleeting moments of life and giving them to them and doing the best job I possibly can. And probably, and I don't think I've ever charged for any of my photo shoots. I don't think. I just kind of pick people and I'm just like, hey, do you want one? Yeah, I'll do it for you. No problem. I probably should charge for actual time because I'd spend time editing and all the rest of the stuff, and it doesn't need to be much, but it probably should be something. But as it comes to what we're doing, yeah, we're all here to spend endlessly. Oh yeah, now that's something that's a lot older than that. It's some of the you'd have to be one of the like the OGs to to remember that. Um, but maybe a return to form is appropriate. Maybe I'll go back to doing list videos for you guys. Just doing them the same way. I can still do the voice too. There's some people that remember the voice. Some people love the voice. Some people hated the voice. I used to get death threats because of my channel. That was kind of fun too. That was crazy. And I always told them, I was just like, well, if you know where I live, pull up. Just, and it's just like that sounds like an insane thing to say to somebody because you never know who you're talking to, but like, my thought was always just like people that say that kind of stuff, um, they're just, you know, they're a lot of talk. Your channel is pretty small. I'm surprised people sent you death threats. Yeah, I know. I was surprised too. I didn't think that garnered that kind of a following to elicit death threats, but apparently you don't need to be very big in order to have somebody decide they hate you. Um, but that's okay. Most of the time, though, it's just like kids just saying stuff. But maybe a return to form wouldn't hurt. Maybe coming back. I like the voice in the newer videos though, but that's just my opinion. I like the newer voice better because com it doesn't hurt to do, and it's a lot more like understandable. Um and it's just my voice, I don't have to, pitch it really high and do this whole thing for everyone, It but I miss doing it. I mean, you know, uh, you know. Oh, sorry. See my uh, didn't do this. My stage lights and stuff are still sitting out here. I actually got them out the other day and was shooting a different style of video for a car channel I was working on with some friends of mine. And and I got it out and I got everything out and pulled out all this old stuff. And the more I was looking at it, the more I was thinking about it. I was just like, man, I mean, like, you know the old videos I would do, they weren't hard, not really. Like, they just took a little bit of thought, a little bit of writing, just pull my stuff out and do it again. It's just there's enough people that would like to see it, and the channel could have grown so much larger in the time that I sat there and thought about how I felt like my channel should have been bigger and I should have done this or I should have done that. And, feeling like your channel should be bigger or feeling like your following should be greater or this, that, and the other thing, um, is egotistical because you're not owed anything. No one's owed anything for their work. Like, I put a video out. None of you owe me the time of day to watch it. If you do and you enjoy it, that's awesome, but you don't owe it to me. No one owes that to me. You don't owe it to me to subscribe to my channel or to, you know, have a bunch of other people think I'm great and subscribe to my channel. But the problem is that it got to a point that you you put a lot of effort into something and not enough people in your opinion like it, and then you feel like, well, what did I just do all that work for? And you start taking it for granted, and that's when you go down the dark road. And I think that's what killed my channel, is that I started taking a lot of things and a lot of goodwill from other people for granted, and that's entirely my fault. Um, I got to a point where I thought, well, you know, I'm I make good content, people like it, but really what it came down to is slowly but surely, as I rewatched my videos, I noticed a trend and had some other people point this out to me, and the nicest way they could is that I stopped trying to lift everyone up and I started to try to preach at everyone about character flaws that I thought they should fix. And I'm not at that point, like you can help someone out like that. You can. Um you really can. But it doesn't work that way because all it ends up being is me sitting there telling you, like, enumerating all the flaws that you have or perceived flaws about yourself. And no one wants to hear, like, you know, why they're bad at something. They don't want to hear about that. They don't want to hear me rant about something that's upset me or something. They don't want to hear about that. Of course, no one wants to listen to that. And of course, that's why, like, a lot of my viewership dropped off, you know, because I sat there and, up on my high horse and, like, looking down at other people going, and this is how you can improve your lives, and you should listen to me because I'm Spin. And, it's just one of those kind of like, well, who the fuck are you really? To, like, really, really honestly tell anyone what to do. Like, like how together is your own life? Like, truly, how together is your own life? And I started thinking about it, and the more that I had, when I had this pointed out to me, I started thinking about, like, how easy it is. It's hard to give advice like that without knowing someone personally. It is. And so I started thinking about, um, hey, how's it going? I started thinking about how my life wasn't together, and that I hadn't pursued anything. I hadn't done the things I wanted to do. I hadn't lived the example that I was trying to set for others. And that was a hard thing. That was a hard thing to learn, that I wasn't being that person for all of you. And that I always thought that you should be able to be better each and every day. And I really wanted that for all of you. I did. And I think, in my opinion, that I fell short of that myself because I didn't improve on myself each and every day. I tried to improve the quality of the videos, sure, but I didn't improve the quality of the content. So, like, the lighting was better, or the lens was sharper, or the video editing was more professional, and even going so far as to have a video editor. Shout out to Max. He was absolutely wonderful as my editor, and so patient with all of the things I ever did. But you gonna get down now? Are you done? Okay. Um, it's uh, it's kind of amazing to think, like, how far I came, and on this idea that I was going to not settle in on one type of video. Like, that was not what I wanted to do. That's not who I wanted to be. I wanted to be different each and every time, to give you guys something different, to never really rest on this one thing. Like, I'll do some skits this time, or I'll do a list video, or I'll do a video on things that I think need to be changed, and I'll always be changing that up. But um, it got a little overwhelming, and I fell into a lot of traps that I really told myself I wouldn't fall into. And I think on the whole, um, I could have been better, and I think the channel would have been larger. I think that all of us would have been stronger for it. We would have been better for it. And I did my entire audience a disservice by not listening to my own advice. So, for that, I apologize to all of you because you deserved better out of me. Um, yeah. Do you feel like your break from YouTube was necessary? Absolutely. Um, I think that my break from YouTube was uh, was important for me to get perspective. It was important for me to understand where I'd gone wrong, the things I did right, the things I did wrong, the things I need to improve on, the things that I probably should reel back because they didn't do anything for me, and they didn't do anything for the channel. So my biggest real question um, that I had to ask myself was, why are you doing this? Why are you making videos? And I will tell you guys the honest to God's truth, or to whoever or whatever, or to no one if you don't believe in anything. Um, the reason that I started making videos originally was because I thought it was a good time. And slowly it was about gaining influence. It was about gaining popularity and being important, being someone that people cared about. Um, and that became the most important thing instead of making something fun for someone to watch. And that's when my channel started to take a turn for the worse. Is I lost the vision. I lost what I wanted to do, was this like carefree nihilist that I wanted my character to be, that I wanted to show you the world through the lens of Spyn. And I lost it. I lost the grip on it. And I fell into the same stupid, egotistical trap that I've seen hundreds of YouTubers fall into. And that is caring more about the numbers than I did about my own content and what it said about me. And that was a stupid thing to do, because as soon as that happened, I was more concerned about quantity of videos and not quality. And I was concerned about spreading my influence and being this person, and being this person that people, you know, wanted to meet and wanted to be around, and instead of someone that was worthy of that. And the amount of people that I gained wasn't nothing. I mean, we got real close to touching 5K, which there are millions of channels that will never see above 500, let alone 5K. I mean, it's stupid. And I gave all of that up because I was too egotistical. I was too egotistical about what I wanted. Uh, yeah, honestly, I always found your character's personality quite funny. I hope people can afford you a second chance, and even more so, I hope you can afford yourself a second chance. I I can afford myself the second chance, and if other people take the time on me, that's awesome. I hope that they do. I hope that they do. Um, realistically, I guarantee you this right now, and I know this to be an absolute fact because I've looked at the data, looked at the metrics. If I'd done this whole video in fursuit, I would have had like 10 people, 15 people, uh, probably, and people would jump in and jump out. But I'd probably stay about steady at about 5 to 10 people, pretty consistently, because it's kind of a, oh, keep fursuit kind of thing. And that's okay, because that's what they're there for. This is a furry channel, so you're here for that. You're not here for me to talk to you. You want my character to talk to you, and that's awesome. And I lost a little bit of that, and I should have been better about it. But I want to try to make a return to YouTube, to making content that you guys are interested in seeing. And I want to make content that you guys like and are interested in. So that's why I'm interested in kind of, maybe doing a few videos on like the types of cameras and stuff that I use, and um what I enjoy doing and what I don't enjoy doing, and maybe some car stuff, and and then of course we have our return to form, and that return to form is just simple nihilistic takes on the furry fandom and the stupid stuff that we do, and having good humor about it. Um, I don't mind you making content any way you want, in suit or out. You're still you, and you still have the important things to say, important things to create, and that's true. I do, and I appreciate that. I really do. Um, I also know that, like, if I want to, if I want to do this, and you guys want to see this, which as of tonight, plenty of people jumped in. Um, Even if it was one, just plenty of people jumped in. This is this is the hard part, because it's carving out time out of my schedule. I do a lot of things now. So if I want this to be a thing that works, and this is something you guys want, then I'll have to produce at least one video a week, at least, which 4 videos a month, which totals out to 48 videos a year, um, and which would give you guys more than enough content to I don't know why, but that would give you guys more than enough content, and that would give me a couple days to write, a couple days to shoot. Um, what was that noise? I was in just a notification on my phone. Um, that'd give me, a couple days to write, shoot, edit, and then release the video. And um, I can go back and start talking about the fandom as a whole. Um, there's been a lot of stuff that's been going on in the fandom. If the noise sounded familiar, it's the noise is taken from um, it's taken from an anime, Sword Art Online. It's the notification sound for Sword Art. Um, but if if you guys want to see all of this kind of stuff, then okay, I can start making some of my kind of more basic videos, because they're a little bit easier to make, and I think I have time to make those. They're mostly just list videos, and it's mostly just kind of the old sort of back and forth that I would do with nihilistic takes on the stupid stuff that people get up to in the fandom. I mean, like, we have a lot of different things. We have, like, um we had the weird sort of quad suit thing happen a while ago, and that was really weird. And um because originally, when I saw the picture, I was just like, "That's a weird stuffed animal." And then someone said, "Oh, that's a fursuit. There's someone in there." And I went, "Oh, like, how are they supposed to do this thing? It's like, oh, it's this whole thing with some sort of bondage-esque stuff going on. And it's like, oh, and that's sort of like just out in public. All right, well, I'm not sure how I feel about that, but it's whatever. And then we have some more issues of some people. Um, some people some people are like somewhat upset about how much fursuits are selling for, um, and fursuit makers, you know, easily clearing five figures, upper five figures for their fursuits, and quality fursuits being easily $20,000. Um, and I think it's next year. Speaking of that, next year I get my new suit, which is a kimono style version of Spyn. Changes the whole look, whole thing. Um, it'll go from looking like this guy to looking a lot like this guy here, which is a major difference. But uh, it's a kimono style fursuit from Leica Palette, and Leica Palette's amazing, and I love their stuff. Um, it's just fursuit makers themselves, if they're upset about the markets. Well, they were not so much upset about the markets, right? So they were upset because they said, well, you could have spent that, like, if I'd had that money, I would have paid rent for, such and such a time, and that's money that, you shouldn't be spending that kind of money. You should be donating that money, and this, that, and the other thing. And this has always been my problem with people like that, is that those individuals that have said those kind of thing is just like, it's their money. Yeah, it's their money. You don't get to tell people how to spend their money. You don't get to say, oh, well, you're a bad person because you did X, Y, and Z with your money instead of giving it. And what they mean when they say give it away, they mean give it to me, is what they usually mean. There's like, oh, they could have given that money to me. There's no one needs this much money because I'm struggling for X, Y, and Z. And whereas I'm not deaf to those struggles, um, that's that's kind of the thing. It's just like, yeah, I mean, maybe spending $50,000 on a fursuit isn't the best financial decision you could possibly make, but also like that's a super win for for fursuit makers. It really is. And some people like that, they get worked up over it, and they have bad takes on it, and that's just what it is. They have a take on it that basically says that I would have never, so you should never. And it's this idea that's like, it's egocentric, where your ideologies and the way that you would do things is the way everyone should do things. You know, life is not fair, and you are not entitled to anything. And that is the unfortunate nature of things. It's like, but you also don't know the person that bought the thing. So say a guy buys a guy, girl, whatever, buys a $50,000 fursuit, right? So they do this thing, right? And you say, oh, they could have donated that money. Well, you don't know that they don't donate that money and then some. If they have disposable income on that, there are people that buy $50,000 sports cars, and they don't need a $50,000 sports car. It's a luxury item. But all fursuits are luxury items, and we don't pay our fursuit makers nearly enough. Like, if you've ever seen like the breakdown of like what a fursuit maker actually gets paid, it's less than minimum wage. Like, you factor in the material, the time, the revisions, the cost of running the shop, the fact that they can't be doing anything else while they're doing that, and they've given up part of their house just to make that a thing. I mean, it's crazy, right? But, there are things like that have happened while I've been kind of sitting idle. And, you know, things that, I'd hear about, and I was just like, it was almost this like, how dare you? How dare you tell someone else how they can spend their money, man? And like, just like trying to take food out of somebody else's mouth, like by trying to shame an entire community into not paying someone for a literal work of art that you can wear, a bespoke suit of your character so infinitely crafted that it is so sought after that it drives the price up to 60, it's like 20 to $60,000, which is crazy to most people, but come on. Like these guys are like artists. Like what, like they finally getting paid what they deserve and they can only make so many suits. So it's not like they're making millions and millions. So I don't see what the big deal is. Just pay your artists. We barely pay our artists as is. Like, and they're always so I live with an artist and they are too nice. They are too nice to us by half. We do not deserve the level of patience and care that they give to us. Because some of us, I have seen the way that we interact with them. I have seen what we have said to them. I have seen the way that we talk to them. And it is beyond disgusting. Um, but that's a different thing. But I can talk about all of these things. And we can talk about like, general society again and all the rest of that. But you know, I miss not making the videos about the stuff that's important to you guys and to come at it from a funny angle and so that we can all laugh about it because a lot of this stuff is just hilarious. A lot of it's just stupid funny things. A lot of it's, oh, did you hear what happened, at this event or that event? I mean, I was at FWA, I think, and like just walking around, and I like looked over, and I could see in this dude's bag like a bunch of like a bunch of like little like nitrogen capsules, for them to like do whippets with, which is crazy. Like they're just gonna do the thing, and then just openly walking around with it. And it's just like the insanity of the fact that we're like, oh, we're trying to make this a family friendly thing, and like, dudes just openly walking around with like, shit to get high with, and that's just conventions are funny. They've got this dichotomy of things. It's like we want it to be this one thing when it tends to be something else, and I don't care why you go to conventions, um, uh, and provide a fleeting like 30-second high. Yeah, basically. But dude had probably like 30 or 40 of these things, like in this little like drop pouch that he had like on his belt. And it's just like, bro, that's real brave just carrying that around. Like, because everyone knows what that's for. I mean, like you see them like scattered all, uh, I don't understand it either. Like, it's not something that's for me. You do you. I don't care what you do. Um, you know, you paid to be at the convention. If you if you do something wrong and you get kicked out, that's on you. I mean, I used to when I would go to, it wasn't really like a full FWA for me unless I was groped. So there was that too. As well be doing harder drugs. Yeah, I mean, I can't suggest that you do harder drugs. I can just suggest that you'd like, you know, uh, understand the risks of things. Don't go out there and get yourselves hurt. You know, uh, that kind of thing. Try to be kind to each other and try not to be dicks to each other. And if you're going to go to a convention, go there to have fun, see your friends, all the rest of that. Don't follow people back to their rooms if you don't know them. That's kind of creepy. Please don't do that. Had that happen a few times, and I'd rather that not happen to anybody. It's awkward, uh, and and it can be dangerous too. And like because you don't know who they are. Um, yeah, that's. there's plenty of other things that people could be doing. But that said, um, I've wanted to do this for a little while, and I just haven't. Is just get on here, talk to you guys for a second, and kind of gauge the temperature. And it seems like you guys would be interested in seeing me back. And if you're interested in seeing me back, then I'll give you what you want, and I'll come back, and I'll do this thing with you guys. And instead of just really being, and actually, I didn't mean to say that, but I think that's really what it is. I think that's really what it is. I think that's it. It's not just for you guys, it's with you guys. Because, if you guys want to see some sort of content, then I'm going to try to make it happen. And if it doesn't do well, it doesn't do well. It's fine. But if you really want to see me back, then all right, let's give it one more go. One more go. One more go. One more time. One more time last time, as my figure skating instructor used to tell me. He's a Russian guy, very very funny guy named Constantine. Love this guy to death. I miss him so much. Miss this guy so much. He was so cool. But anytime I would do anything, he would say it's just like it is my favorite one. One more time, last time. And it was never the last time. It was probably I was gonna be out there on the ice doing waltz jumps for like the foreseeable future, and I miss it so much. I miss this. I miss all of you guys. I miss what we used to have, and if you'll have me again, we'll build it back. One last time. I'll give it one more shot, and I'll give you everything I possibly can. Um, what we'll probably do for the Discord server is I think what's the yellow band on my arm? Okay, so I went to a car convention just recently, and it's do it this way is slammed enough, and I'm like I said, I'm kind of a car person, so I really like my cars and love my JDM cars, and I'll have something special that I might show you guys a little bit later, but um, not right now. Uh, but we'll do it one more time, and I'm gonna try to do this and balance the other car stuff that I was doing and this thing, and you know, I'll go back to the way I used to do it, um, and bring the channel back to life for you guys one more time, and we'll make a good run of it and try to build something you guys are proud of, because I'm doing this time unlike the last time I did this. I'm doing this time for you guys and not just for myself. So this will be for all of you because you asked. Um, you know, it's we're doing it for the fun, not for the numbers. If we get good numbers, that's amazing, and I appreciate that. But it's gonna be for you guys, for all of you, because you wanted to hear me talk and say my bullshit one more time. So we'll do it. I'll just have to set all this stuff back up. There's a lot to set up here, and I gotta really put this back together the way it was meant to be and start shooting for you guys in a way that makes sense. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of that. It's gonna be a lot of like microphone in my face again, and we'll see this guy one more time doing this. So we don't have much longer, and the OG Spyn is retired anyway. and he gets put up on the wall and just kind of left there, at least for a little while. And the suit, I'm not sure what we're gonna do with it now. We had tentative plans of raffling it off, and I'm not sure if we'll still go ahead with that or what we're gonna do. But that was the idea. That's what I wanted to do with it anyway. But you know, that Lemon Brat suit's giving me a lot of leeway, and I've gotten to do a lot of things with it, and I'm pretty pretty happy with it. Put that back up there where it belongs. You know, but it's been long enough where I think I've got the perspective I need to give you guys what you deserve. And that's some of the more OG shit that made the channel in the first place. So if that's what people came for, then why do you change it? Oh yeah, I mean, like, Spin's always looked ominous, and that's the reason I bought him, as he looked so damn ominous. Like, he looked, like he's judging you, because in some ways he's always judging you, and he's always got something kind of nihilistic to say, and that's that's the thing. That's the thing that it's always that that kind of thing is remembered. You know, just because oh God, I can't even do the lines anymore because it's been so long. What did I used to say? Um, it's how did I do that? How did I do that? Um, remember, no matter how dark it gets, it's only just the beginning. um, yeah, it's just it's little things like that that I loved. Is time's a flat circle, that kind of thing. Some BoJack Horseman shit, stuff like that. Uh, Wanting to be more, uh, more of that for you guys, because that's something you guys liked. So I guess I'll have to put the lights back up and clean up in here. It's pretty filthy in here right now because my cat's been using my couch as her own personal bed. So I'll have to clean up and figure this stuff out, and then write something for you guys, put it out there, and you know, give me a little bit to put the engines back in gear, and let's see if we can't give you guys one more good run of content from me, and then let's see what you guys think of it. Anyway, I think that's gonna probably be it. Um, if any of you guys have any last minute questions, comments, concerns, worries, or whatever, um, I'm going to, as always, give you guys, I don't know, like, let's say like 5 minutes of a Q&A. Ask anything you want. There's not that many of you guys in here, just a couple. So if there's something that you've always wanted to know, or otherwise just want me to talk about for a second, um, you've got 5 minutes starting now, and we'll go from there. And that'll be okay. But I always try to end lives like that, mainly because I think that it's important to like try to interact with your audience as much as possible, but also so that if there's something that you guys really want to know, that I'm not ignoring it. I'm not, you know, just leaving you there. What am I planning to do with Discord? All right, so um, The Discord server that I've got right now, um, is basically a wildfire. Um, I'll need to clean all of that up. I could completely get rid of it and start fresh, but there's too many people on there that I'm not sure if they would find it again or not, and I don't want to completely destroy it and then those people not have that space anymore. So I don't want to destroy the Discord server, but I do want to reorganize it, and I've got people that I could put in charge of it that are much better at this than I am. So I'm not very good at it. But that's the plan for the Discord server is to if I'm gonna do this thing, then I've got to really do the thing. And I've got to bring the Discord server back up. Um, I probably should do Patreon, but I will leave Patreon for way, way, way later. Um, I do have a Patreon, but it's not open to people anymore because I don't want people paying for something they weren't getting. Um, actually, I shut it down during the pandemic because I thought that I didn't want people spending their money on me when they should be spending their money on themselves and their loved ones. Um, but oh my god, I remember your amazing ads. Yeah, I remember that too. Um, I'm not sure that I'll ever really do ads again. I at the time I thought it was a good idea, but it just backfired so terribly. Um, yeah. Oh, you find that actually quite commendable. Thank you. Um, uh, I loved the ads. Uh, no, this is not gonna let someone pay for something they're not gonna get. That's stupid. But we'll bring the channel back to life. See how that goes. Back when people actually hated furries. Yeah, I know, right? That probably more than anything got me the death threats. But they were death threats from like, you know, I don't know, like 10-year-olds with like they were unsupervised with their tablet that still had some screen time left before mommy and daddy took it away from them. Like they were unlikely to. The one I had that was probably most serious said that the person knew where I lived and they were going to come to my house with a shotgun and shoot me. Um, yeah, it's more or less tolerated, and that's fine. It's been a long time to see. Yeah, I know, right? And sadly, I was just about to end this. Um, but like complete normies would find this. Yeah. Uh it happens. Um these chats and say random things like they would, but that's okay. They can say whatever they want. I don't care anymore. It's no big deal. But, we're going to be talking about a bunch of things coming up. I'm going to talk about a lot of stuff. And this is what you guys wanted. So any more questions, comments, concerns, and or worries, put them in the chat now or forever hold your peace, or at the very least until the next time I decide to do something like this. So if you want to know something about me, now is your last chance because I have a lot of cleaning to do and a lot of organizing to do. And if you want me to do this kind of nonsense, I'm going to need to clean everything up and put everything back to rights. And that's going to be a while. Um, whoa, handsome on the fursuit. That's very kind of you. Why did you name your character Spyn? My first character was name was Switch, so I started thinking of S names because I wanted all of my characters' names to start with S for some reason. It was something stupid like that. I went through a bunch of different iterations before that.
Kids always do death threats. Bullies who say shit behind a keyboard because they're anonymous. Oh yeah, totally. I wasn't worried about them. I told him that he was welcome to come over and try to make good on that threat after soccer practice if his mommy wasn't busy. But yeah, I'm gonna have to get organized. And anyway, are you a furry? I mean, yeah, I guess so. I do have that. So I guess that means something. Um, but I definitely um I definitely like furry stuff for the most part. Uh, them kids should just stick with Minecraft. They probably should. But that's just how it was. MK featured one of my videos at one point, um, and took it wildly out of context. Just for fun, and I didn't blame them for it or anything. I reached out to them, but they didn't really say anything back. Spin is definitely the type to still be talking with his head mounted on the wall. Yeah, totally. I was wondering since uh, I say saw the furry head. Yeah, yeah. I do a little bit of everything though. So you talking about cars a little bit. Probably have a. I'm working on a dedicated car channel that will have nothing to do with the furry fandom. Will be completely separate as a separate interest channel, and in which I probably won't even mention that on there. Um, and I also do, as I say, I do photography as well. And we'll be focusing on a lot of different things, and I'll be using this channel to probably push more into the idea of, let's say, uh, photography and fursuiting and a bunch of different things that I've wanted to talk about for a while. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, I really want to do a video about how to set up a photo shoot properly at a convention. And like, what's the best thing you can do? How do you go about it? How do you go about getting people? That kind of thing. And just try to give people something that they haven't really seen before. And that's the idea. It's just, you want to see me taste a bunch of things or open boxes or, talk about, my, what's my favorite persona or whatever. I mean, there's plenty of people that have that, you know, and you can get that anywhere. So it's like when people would ask me, this was years ago, back when I was actually still relevant. It's just like that they wanted to start it for a YouTube channel, and what I thought about that. I told them that the first thing I would always ask them is just like, like, what are you gonna do? And when they would tell me what they planned on doing, I said, that's cool. There's a bunch of people that also do that. So why would I watch your channel? What makes you different? And that's not to say that you shouldn't, or that this is something mean for me to say. It's honestly asking the question, what makes your channel better than some of these high profile channels? Why watch you? Why should I watch you? You know, and if you can't answer that question, and you really want to do this, then you need to go off and really find the answer to that. Find what makes you different. Find what makes you unique and special. What perspective do you have that you can bring to the table that nobody else has brought to the table yet? And then bring it with everything you have, and you'll get a following. I was lucky enough to crack 1,000 inside of a year, and that's amazing. so very few people get to do that in their lifetimes. There's people that are still hunting their thousandth viewer, and I was able to do it. And I think one of the biggest reasons I was able to do that is I had help from my friends. They helped guide me, they inspired me, and I always tried to be different than what everyone else was doing. I didn't want to be just another, like, copy paste of like Majira or or whoever, or like Nos Hyena, because Nos Hyena is already Nos Hyena. I'm not gonna be a better version of Nos. Nos is already the best version of Nos. So don't try to be someone that already exists. Be you. Be authentically you, and people will be much, much more impressed with that than you trying to do a poor imitation of someone who's already established. Be exactly who you are 100% of the time. It's just that quote of just like, I have to be myself because everybody else is already taken, you know, um, that kind of thing. So, uh, I think I went way over what I planned on doing. So we're kind of, as I normally do. I'm long-winded, and I'm sorry, guys, that I talk so much. But sometimes you just like to hear yourself speak. Anyway, I appreciate you guys joining this live. It does actually mean the world to me that people still have interest in this. So even if it's only for 6 views, I'm gonna give you some more content, and let's see what you make of it. Let's see if you still like it, and let's see if I can still do this thing. Um, so anyway, I guess we're gonna wrap it up for right now. Um, and again, I appreciate you guys coming out. Um, so yeah, so thank you guys for everything. It does mean a lot. All right, guys. Have a good night. Go do something productive with your lives now. You've wasted more than enough time on me. All right, guys. Good night.